Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I guess I should begin by thanking everyone for being so timely. We asked you to come a little bit early so we could begin on time, and you all did, and it's very much appreciated. It's really great to see everyone, especially to see you in person. And so I want to thank you all for being here, and everybody seems to be mask compliant, which is great. This is a university event in a university building. And so during this part of the ceremony, it is essential, required that we all wear our masks. My name is John Horn. I've met some of you, but not all of you. I'm the Associate Dean for Graduate Studies in the School of Medicine. Today, the school has 11 PhD granting programs with over 350 students. And in the past, these programs have operated in a largely independent way. And today we're holding the first ever welcome ceremony for all entering graduate students affiliated with our PhD programs. Most of you are registered in the medical school, and some of you are students in programs that we operate through collaborations with the Dietrich School of Arts and Sciences here at Pitt and with various departments at Carnegie Mellon University. To everyone, we say welcome. We want to acknowledge also the presidents of our program directors in the School of Medicine and leaders from our Biomedical Graduate Student Association here and in the back of the room. And also, I believe, have some alumni who are here from programs. And finally, I want to welcome all of our students, faculty, families, and friends of our entering students who are with us online today. This ceremony is being broadcast and will be available afterwards, I believe, on YouTube. Our purpose in bringing everyone today together really transcends our individual graduate programs. We want to make clear that all PhD students, from the moment they first enter our programs, become very important members of our academic medicine community. Great medical schools excel in training, research, and health care. By entering one of our programs, you become an essential participant in our collective training and research missions. Today is our first ever school-wide welcome ceremony, and we anticipate it will become an annual event. All of you have now completed orientation activities, begun coursework, or are at the start of rotations designed to expand your perspective and then to find a dissertation mentor and topic. Regardless of how you specialize, and you will specialize, there are certain principles that bind us all together. For example, biomedical science is a team sport that values both individuality and inclusiveness. You work together with other people, but you're also an individual. Talking about these things actually brings back memories of my first year in graduate school many years ago. I'm embarrassed to say how many, so I won't. And although exciting, it's a little bit scary at first. In those days, when I was a beginning student, there was very little in the way of formal orientation and the support systems that we have today. You just had to figure it out. It was more or less a sink or swim type thing. For me, it took about a year to figure out and realize the seriousness of what our enterprise is about and just how amazing it was at the same time. Although I had gravitated to science early in my life, it was only in the lab and in graduate school, working closely with highly motivated scientists, that I truly began to appreciate the opportunities that exist. And that's what's before you now. Personally, I'm a first-generation American, the son of immigrants who completed high school but had no backgrounds in science or medicine. And in graduate school, I was very fortunate, that's how I think of it now, to find enthusiastic mentors who inspired me and helped me to overcome my sense of ignorance and incompetence. That's how I felt. Such feelings are not unusual, and today we often refer to them as the imposter syndrome. Maybe you've heard of it. However, please try to put this out of your minds. Put your minds at rest. None of you are imposters. You have all worked very hard to prepare for graduate school, and you all deserve to be here. Over time, my mentors helped me to develop as a scientist, to become more self-confident, and to find a path that ultimately led to an independent career. It's all very exciting. So as you progress, embrace it. It's a good thing. So today we hope to accomplish several goals. First, we want to help you see the big picture encompassed by academic medicine. Second, we want everyone to feel welcome and at home in our diverse community. Third, we want to give a little advice on building relationships with mentors who can help you find success. Then we want to recognize every new student by welcoming them personally and presenting them with a jacket to symbolize their connection to our school. That's the bags. We'll get to that later. You probably figured that out. Finally, our current students will lead the new students in reciting an oath, committing them to the values emblematic of our work as biomedical scientists, no matter what we do. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Anantha Shaker. Dr. Shaker is the John and Gertrude Peterson Dean of the Medical School, and also the Senior Vice Chancellor for the Health Sciences at the University of Pittsburgh. This means he has responsibility not just for the medical school, but all 6 of the schools of the health sciences. Dr. Shaker has a distinguished background as an MD and a PhD. In addition, his medical education, in addition to his medical education, he also went through a graduate program. This means he knows the path that you're about to follow. Today, he wants to welcome you and say a few words about the mission of our medical school and the important parts that you will play. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Shaker.
Oh, I better keep my, thank you, Dr. Horn. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And my understanding is that this is the first welcome ceremony for the combined graduate programs, which is terrific. And I'm so happy to see all of you. Just forget everything John just said about the imposter syndrome, because you are the future of science. We are the present, maybe, or not even, I may be getting to the past of science. There are some present here, but you are the future. And the reason you are the future is not only because you are incredibly smart and have done greatly in your academics to be admitted to these programs, which are highly competitive, as you all know. But more importantly, you have the opportunity to join a family of an incredible academic environment. We have one of the best health sciences campuses in the country, certainly in some areas in the world. So we have 6 health sciences schools that are all ranked in the top 10. We have, of course, Carnegie Mellon, which is one of the top engineering schools in the world. And we have the largest academic health system in the country here with UPMC. So you have incredible platform to make a difference. What it's going to take is real commitment and real ambition to make a difference. So I know you all are coming here for that very reason. I don't think you're just coming here to get 3 more letters next to your name, which of course is very helpful to get jobs and do other things. But more importantly, that's just your ticket to make a difference. And that's really what I want you to think about when you're here at Pitt, at CMU, and in our combined graduate programs. Because you are going to change the face of biomedical science. You're going to be part of the incredible excitement that we are all expecting over the next 20 years in biomedical research, in biomedical products, and in human health improvement and curing diseases. That's what we are here for. And that's what all of your work, however small contribution each one of us make to that big picture, that's what we're all pushing for. So imagine that's your big picture goal. Imagine that you're joining a family that is going to be with you through thick and thin. We're going to be part of guiding you. We're going to be part of supporting you. We will take care of you if you are ill. We will take care of you and celebrate with you if you're doing great. We'll be writing papers with you. We'll be writing grants with you. We'll be creating products with you. That's our job, is to create that platform and provide that guidance. Your job is to take advantage of all of that and make a difference and make a career for yourselves. So that's really the covenant that we're both agreeing to today. And that's why we're welcoming you to our family. There are many ways you can make a difference. You can become an incredible discovery researcher with lots of grant funding, academic positions. You could become the next biotech entrepreneur and make products that will help patients and that will change our biomedical environment. Or you could become a communicator or I would say, an activist that changes the way our society looks at biomedical and science education. So you have all of those possibilities. And if you are what we call a triple threat, you might do all 3 of those. So that's really what we're looking forward to, and really want to welcome every one of you personally. And of course, Dr. Horn and all of your program directors will be always available to you. But if there are issues that you think I need to be aware of, please feel free to contact me. So good luck and welcome to our Pitt, CMU, UPMC biomedical research family.
Thank you, Anantha, very much. So now we're going to talk a little bit about our community, and we've asked Dr. Kenneth Pettigrew to speak a few words about that. He's the Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in the School of Medicine, and his job encompasses all of our educational programs, including graduate education. So Dr. Pettigrew.
Okay. Okay, it's all working. It's all great when the technology happens, and I don't have to do anything. But good afternoon, everybody. Okay, let me start with this. In our community, it's call and response. All of you will be at some point given a lecture at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you want to make sure that all of that work that you put into your lecture is going to be something that people pay attention to. So you want all your colleagues to be, bright and shiny at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon when you're lecturing on something that's very exciting. So we'll try the call and response one more time because that really is meaningful to us. So when somebody says good afternoon, good morning, whatever it may be, We want to hear you with enthusiasm respond. That is the Pitt Medical School biomedical community way. So, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Welcome to our community. I'm so glad that you are here. I want to mark this occasion by saying that Dr. Horn and his team have decided that rather than not gather you all together, that we wanted to be sure that you were welcomed and that you really felt that this was, you were a part of a community and there were people that you should know outside of your lab team or your PI or anybody else that you're working with. So I want to congratulate them on the work that they've done to make sure that we had this. My team consists of, we are on the 5th floor of the Allen B. Scaife building, and our doors are always open and we're always available to you. The thing that happens in this School of Medicine, inclusive of the graduate programs, is that we make a promise to our students. And that promise basically is that we will give you the skills that you need, you'll have the knowledge that you need to do what you need to do. But at the same time, you're going to know what it's like to be part of this community, and you're going to know what it's like to be an investigator and make contributions that really make a difference in the lives of people. John Milton Duff convicted this community in 1886 that it would be part of, that our students would be part of a community that cared about them and thought about what it is that they are doing. And we would do our best to make sure that the goals that you want to achieve are achieved. These are sort of what we try to do. I put at the top that our responsibilities include, but are not limited to, all of the things that you see below. But more or less in relationship to diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're really working with the graduate office to make sure that any of those concerns and or issues, programs, and experiences that are part of making you feel comfortable and making you feel included, those things are attended to. I am really supporting them in this work and will do whatever it is that they need. In terms of the community here, one of the things that you should know is, one, diversity is broadly defined and includes all of the things that you have come to know. But at the same time, you're in a very rich community. In addition to where we are in the center, there is the Physician Inclusion Council of the University of Pittsburgh and UPMC, we call it Pickup. And that's a broad discussion of things that are going on in the medical center. There are a lot of vice chairs and program directors in our community that work with us. Our students, in terms of the Diversity Coalition Working Group, advise our work as well. There's a University of Pittsburgh Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion office that sort of guides the institutional response to all of these issues. There's a Health Sciences Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team, in addition to the team in the Office of Graduate Studies. So you can see that this is not something that we take very lightly. It is something that we take very seriously. The thing that I would say in support of what this experience represents is that we are really appreciative that you decided, of the choices that you could have made, to choose our community. It does make a difference to us. Some of you have been here and been hanging around Scaife for a little while, and others of you have not. You may not even get up to Scaife, depending upon where you are situated. But if you do, I am on the 5th floor. My door is always open. And again, I want on behalf of all of my colleagues, thank you for choosing the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine and your program. Here are some of our partners Obviously, a lot of these folks are independent investigators. Some of them are physicians, some of them are administrators, some of them are postdocs, but there are people here that are focused on the diversity, equity, and inclusion work across the center and in a variety of different programs. And I just wanted to make sure that was communicated. And if you ever need to see us, this is where we are. We are 586 Allen McGee Scaife Hall. This is our number. These are email addresses. Our doors are always open. And really, thank you so very much for choosing the University of Pittsburgh to extend your education.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pettigrew. Next, we're going to turn our attention to mentoring. And this is, finding the right mentor is probably the most important decision you're going to make this year, perhaps in your graduate career and in your career in general. And we've asked Dr. Kara Bernstein to say a few words about that. Kara is the director of our Molecular Genetics and Developmental Biology PhD program and a very active member of our graduate training community.
Congratulations. You've made it to graduate school. You've moved in and you've started classes. And now you have the monumental task of finding your new lab home and the ideal mentor for you and your career goals. So how does one start? Finding the right mentor starts with you. What kind of lab environment do you thrive in? Do you want a large or a small lab? How do you like to communicate with your advisor? Do you want a mentor who is hands-on? Or do you want someone who is more hands-off? By the way, can you remind me what your research interests are? When I was a graduate student, I wanted to study cancer. And when the faculty were presenting their research, this fiery redhead who studied ribosome biogenesis took the stage. And she was an exciting, enthusiastic, and dynamic person. And I just knew instantly that cancer would have to wait. And I had to work with her. Susan Basurga taught me everything I know, how to write papers and grants, do experiments, ask the right questions, and what were the best tools to address those questions. It was the best decision I ever made. Cancer did wait, but what I learned from my mentor has stayed with me forever. So my advice to you is to pick a mentor that is devoted to mentoring graduate students. Someone who does research that is interesting to you, but is also invested in your success. Use your success as their success. You want to be in the right environment, a lab that works as a team and celebrates each other's achievements. When one trainee does well, it reflects well on the whole team and it lifts everybody up. Getting a PhD can be a roller coaster. There will be many ups and downs. Pick a mentor that is a cheerleader, a believer, a problem solver. Your experiments will work eventually, and you will make incredible discoveries. And we'll be here to help you find the right environment and to celebrate your successes with you.
So now we're getting to the point where we're going to do what you've all been waiting for with the jackets. But before we get there, I've asked Dr. Carrie Najak Bowen to say a few words. Carrie is a very successful member of our graduate training community. She's in the Department of Pathology and a member of the Cellular and Molecular Pathology graduate program, but she's also an alumnus of Pitt. We're very proud of that. She has multiple degrees from Pitt, including her PhD. So I've asked her to say a few words about what it's like to see all these new students from the perspective of someone who's spent the major part of their career here at Pitt, and then to lead us in the jacket ceremony. So Carrie.
Thanks, John. Okay. I came through a lot louder than I thought. Um, So welcome once again, and congratulations to all of you. I met a few of you during the interview process. I've screened a few of you during the application process, and I'm really glad to see so many faces here. Even the ones I don't recognize, I hope to get to know you over the years. So, so John asked me to do this talk, just this brief discussion about, what it was like to be here from a graduate student to a PI, and I had to wonder why he asked me. And here's a secret, that imposter syndrome that some of you feel, it never really goes away. So I questioned a lot about what I could bring to the discussion to sort of, enlighten you as to what it's like to be on both ends. So as John said, I started my PhD here way back in 2006. In fact, John, I think, started in the very same year that I did. That's a pretty fun fact. And now I'm a PI here at Pitt. I'm an associate professor in pathology. I have my own funding, my own lab, and my own students. So I've really seen both ends of it. I mean, if you want to go back further, I was an undergrad and an MBA student here as well. So yeah, 3 degrees from Pitt. So I've seen both ends of it, from the student to the PI perspective. And that gives me kind of a unique position to speak about this program. With the caveat that the remarks I'm going to say, I can only speak from my own experience. So what I can tell you about the program is that in this program, I've always felt seen and heard, even from my earliest days in graduate school. And that's not just lip service. I'll give you an example. The first week of orientation, I met with Dr. Horn and I dropped a bomb on him. I told him that I just found out I was pregnant with my first child. So that was probably his first crisis that he had to deal with as dean. But from that day on, I knew that my future in the program would be secure, because both the administrative side and the PI that I chose were dedicated to helping me achieve the work-life balance that we all look for. And as you can see from the fact that I'm standing here before you now, it all worked out somehow. What I've learned in this program, in this graduate program, goes far beyond signaling pathways and liver disease, which is my area of research. I learned how to think like a scientist, how to communicate my work, and importantly, how to advocate for myself and my science. And those sparked a confidence in myself that I never even knew I was capable of. And at every step of the way, I received outstanding support from everyone, particularly from my mentor, who was amazing and is now a lifelong collaborator, but also from everyone else from within the Pitt community. I can only hope to pay it forward with my own students in the same way. So now I want to confess something that others may not want to tell you. Parts of these next several years may totally suck. Somewhere in your 3rd or 4th year, you're going to question why you did this at all. This is the time where your experiments are going to fail, you prove your hypothesis wrong, you fight with your PI constantly about the direction of your project. Any number of these things can and will go wrong, believe me. And when they happen, remember, I told you this. So at times it's going to feel like you're looking down a long tunnel with no end in sight. But I want you to know, in those moments of doubt, just remember this: you deserve to be here. Even when things feel hopeless, always remember your worth. You have earned this place in our school and in this field, and we're lucky to have you. So welcome. Okay, so now for presentation of the coats, I am going to call out the names of the program directors, and if each one of them can stand. Dr. Robert Binder, Dr. James Fader, Dr. Andrew Hink, Dr. Harry Hochheiser, Dr. Neil Huckride, Dr. Kara Bernstein, Dr. Tia Jacob, Dr. Adam Kwiatkowski, Dr. Alex Soto Gutierrez, Dr. Galen Switzer, and Dr. Robert Turner. Okay, so I'm going to read names in alphabetical order, and the first row will come up and receive their jackets, and they will be helped by the program directors. Okay, so Talia Addy, Yvette Afriye Agemengong. And I'm going to apologize in advance for butchering names. If I do, I really am sorry. I mean no disrespect, and I say this from a person that continuously gets Nijak pronounced wrong. Ibrahim Ahmad, Aiden Alikaya, Georgia Ray Atkins, Roha Barwal, Yu Bian, Mitchell Bishop, Adam Brainder, Eric Butcher, and Hannah Butterfield.
We're going to repeat this 7 times, so by the time we're done, you're going to have it really well.
Unfortunately, the names change each time. Okay. Allison Casey, Charupa Chakraborty, Brittany Chamberlain, Aditya Narayan Chandrasekaran, Mona Chatritz, Mindy Chen, Winnie Chang, Prabal Shiprabor, Shuting Cho, Aiden Cole, Patrick Koppler. Emily Cruz Lorenzo, Abby Kui, Rhythm Dodwall, Israel Dilan Pantoyas, Rumya Donapudi, Kevin Dowling, Brooke Dresden, Ian Dunn, Quincy Erickson Oberg, Carly Fabian, Gian Garcia. Jasmine Hecht, Gideon Hillebrand, Menying Hu, Piran Jiang, Dana Julian, Shrira Kamiapurka, Swapnil Kashari, Yajushi Kurana, Sonia Kruzelsnicki, Alexander Kuniski, Emily Lackner. Emmanuel Leon Colon, Chen Yu Li, Ji Bin Liu, Xiaojin Liu, Joseph Maggiore, Laura Marinos, Matthew Martin, Alexis McCullum, Jessica Medrano, Luis Mena Hernandez, Joshua Mercado. Kalyan Mogbelli, Nishant Paniker, Avni Parikh, Angela Paul, Alexandra Fawn, Jennifer Pruskowski, Kaushal Ramjatan, Rachel Rice, Brianna Runk, Rithika Sankar, Samara Santiago. Victor So, Kelly Spar, Sophia Staggers, Amanda Suda, Paul Sun, Nicholas Soko, Christine Tin, Dylan Vaughn, Abdallah Wedon, Hangxi Xiao, Shenshan Yi, Xin Yu. I think that's everyone. That's the last.
Well, that was fabulous. You look wonderful, and I'm sure you're nice and warm now. But we're now going to do one more important thing, which is basically we're all going to take an oath of commitment to our chosen work. And to administer that oath, I've invited Haley Cartwright, who is a fellow graduate student in the program in microbiology and immunology, and also the president of our Biomedical Graduate Student Association. We have several other leaders in the back row who are also in the leadership of our student association, and they all are encouraging you to get involved, to build community through the student association, which is a way that you can advocate your own interests and help shape the form of your education here. So Haley.
Okay, hi everyone. So thanks, John. I just want to say welcome everyone. It makes me so happy to see everyone together in a room together. I wish that I could have done this in my first year. So I'm really glad that y'all have this opportunity. I'm from Texas. I'm sorry I said y'all there. Okay, so I think this is saying this oath. So this is the first time that students are going to be saying this when they enter the School of Medicine. I think it's something that I'm excited about and is a really important thing, especially, you know, in the era of COVID. I think I take being a scientist and a growing, you know, leader in a field very seriously. And I think that will continue to be a really crucial role that we as scientists are going to have to play. So if everyone is willing and able, if you could stand, I think that would be nice. And then I invite the current students and the faculty as well to say this with me, an oath, a scientist oath. All right. So as I embark on my career as a scientist, I willingly pledge that I will practice and support a scientific process that is based on logic, intellectual rigor, personal integrity, and an uncompromising respect for truth. I will perform my professional activities and interactions with scientific integrity and respect for the field and my peers. I will acknowledge my role as an ambassador of science to the public and strive to be honest, respectful, and unbiased with engaging the public. I will value my work and its contribution to the scientific community. I will never let the potential for personal recognition or advancement cause me to act in a way that violates the public trust in science or in me as a scientist. I will foster a community that is inclusive of all and recognizes that diversity cultivates innovation, creativity, and progress. I will acknowledge and honor the contributions of scientists who have preceded me and become a worthy role model, deserving of respect by those who follow me. And I will always be cognizant that my work is for the advancement of knowledge and the benefit of all humanity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Well, now that we're sort of done with the formal parts of the ceremony, you can sit for a second, and then I'll ask you to stand up again. The first thing I want to do is acknowledge Joyce D'Antonio. Joyce, could you wave your hand? Joyce is the director. Is the director of our Graduate Studies Office, and she and the other members of our office worked very hard to make this happen. And it took a lot of effort. And all of our staff are wearing these gold name tags. So as you see them today, please go up to them and thank them, because they really made this all such a lovely afternoon, and I appreciate their work. Then we're going to have a reception now, and here comes the tricky part, because it's hard to drink beer while you're wearing a mask. But what we've done is we've set up these rounds around the room in a socially distant way, so that we can spread out the density, lower the density, and have some light refreshments and a little bit of talk. But before we get to that, what I'd like to do is invite all of the students in your jackets to go out into the lobby. And the photographer has agreed that he's going to lead us out in front of the building to where there's a stairwell. And we can take off our masks because it's outside, and we can get a couple of group pictures of all of you and how wonderful you look. So why don't we go for a quick picture? The others of you can begin to explore the refreshments, and then we'll all come back in and have a little social. So thanks.